Hey, good people. Thanks for tuning back in. Yesterday was October 15th, 2014. You'd write that date 10, 15, 14. If you add 10 plus 15 plus 14, you get the sum of 39. Very important number. 39 founders on the Declaration of Independence, or 39 signers, I should say, and a whole lot more from there. I have a post on the number 39. But anyway, yesterday they gave a name to our I guess you'd say our military policy against ISIS, and it has a name with the coded 33, something that's been through all the ISIS stories so far. The name they gave was Operation Inherent Resolve. Down below in the comments I have the math so that you can see all this. I only did it out for resolve, but operation does sum to 50, inherent sums to 48. Makes me think of 50 states. Also, that number 48, when you flip it around, you get 84. United States of America equals 84. And resolve has that gematria of 33. It should be noted that 7 years earlier, there was something called Noble Resolve. It was done in the same year as Top Off 4, both drills simulating a major disaster in the United States. Could be nuclear, environmental, disease outbreak. They did these simulations 7 years earlier in 2007. Noble Resolve, also with that 33 word. Top Off also sums to 33 in gematria. So in these coded simulations of major destruction, the number 33 is also included in that, interestingly enough. And then if you sum the whole thing, Operation Inherent Resolve, it sums to 131, which is also what the acronym ALS forms. Also a recent story with all the ice bucket challenge and stuff. In the drug research for ALS, one of the names of the main drugs out there working for ALS has ISIS in the name, if you can believe it. Just how linked up all this stuff really is. It's like the same money. It's all going to these same places through multiple different types of hoaxes. Anyhow, this Operation Inherent Resolve was named by Dempsey, who's at the top of the Pentagon now. The two figureheads at the Pentagon are Dempsey and Hagel, both men with 33 names. And perhaps you're looking at this and going, so what, buddy? What's this have to do with anything? Well, this is so what? This numerology thing, it's been going on. This is just the latest. This is just the latest. Let's go back in time. First, let's look at the Pentagon, where these men give us these names from and this information. The Pentagon is 5-sided. It is 5 floors tall, and in the middle, there's a 5-acre court. The building is totally 77 feet tall in total height. 77 feet tall. It's located on the 77th meridian, also known as the American meridian, which cuts through Washington, D.C. and part of the eastern seaboard. The phrase Knights of Templar sums to 77. Those are the original Freemasons who have a highest degree of 33. On 9/11, it was Flight 77 that hit the Pentagon. If you count in days from September 11th, 2001 to March 20th, 2003, it's exactly 555 days. That's from September 11th until the Iraq War, or the latest Iraq War began. Or maybe not even the latest now. Maybe we have another one starting. So, the Iraq War of 2003, we can call it. The Iraq War of 2003 started 555 days after September 11th, orchestrated by the 5-sided, 5-floor with a 5-acre court in the middle War Department, whose excuse was a plane of 77 feet tall full of Saudi Arabians. It doesn't even make sense, right? What I just said didn't make sense. It wasn't supposed to, because it doesn't make any sense. That's the thing about all this information, you guys. Way before I knew about the numbers, I was just looking at all this information they gave us, and I just said, none of this makes sense. Why is anyone listening to this? Buildings falling down at free fall speed, supposedly jets full of Saudis, who are an ally of ours, and now we're going to go to war with where? Afghanistan and Iraq? It doesn't make any sense, right? But then you hear what's really going on. You hear soldiers are guarding poppy fields and opium production's way up, and then suddenly the world's opium supplies. You guys, are you seeing it? The truth is all buried in a bunch of lies and nonsense. We can't see my hands, these are the lies and nonsense. We can't even see past any of them to see anything that's really going on. That's what's being done. And that's what's behind the coding of these numbers. I'm showing you. All the information they give us is done to a schedule. It's all well planned out in advance. It's all the layer of propaganda that keeps us from knowing the truth. And if you think there's 555 things a coincidence, the Washington Monument, which sits directly across from the Pentagon, is 555 feet tall. That's above ground. If you go to the monument, it says 20% of it's below ground, which means 111 feet is below ground, which means the total monument height is 666 feet long. 666. So this numerology thing, you guys, it is so real, and I want you to know that. Now let's listen to this guy from the Pentagon explain why they named it Operation, what do they call it? Operation Inherent Resolve. Let's listen to why he says.
Everybody had visibility on it, and that there was a general sense of approval of it, and what it says, what it means, and for us, what it means is that we are going to stay resolved and determined to get after this threat. We're going to do it in as fulsome a way as we can, and we're going to do it for as long as required. To make a decisive, statement that we're winning or losing. What I can tell you is that there are areas where we are having success. We have definitely made it harder for ISIL to sustain itself and to operate. They are continuing to feel the pressure, which is one of the reasons why we think they're going after Kobani so badly. I mean, I think part of it is they really want a win because they're not getting a win everywhere. It's also, ISIL has made no secret of the fact that they want that town, and this goes completely in line with what we've been saying before, that this is...
Honestly, I can't listen to any of it anymore. I mean, from Donald Rumsfeld in the post 9/11 days up to the present, all these guys, don't they all look the same? I mean, they stare at the ground. You know why it is? It's because they know they're talking nonsense. They know they're talking lies. And it's almost amazing they can get up there and do it without totally falling apart. I don't think I'd have it in me to lie in front of the camera to an entire nation like that. But these guys got it. And that's why they get paid the big bucks. And it's also why they look like buffoons up there. I also want to make a point about the word Pentagon. The word Pentagon equals 38. And if you saw my post about Ebola, I talked about how the name Nina Pham, the first contraction of Ebola in the United States, the nurse, the name Nina sums to 38, and the name Pham sums to 38. 38 plus 38 equals 76, like Knight of Templar, and Ebola was discovered or identified in 1976. From 1976 to 2014 is 38 years. The word Pentagon equals 38. If you can recall, after 9/11, we had the anthrax scare domestically. Since then, we've had a few other chemical scares. So the Pentagon, think of it as more than just the War Department. Think of it as the center of the fear department, and things such as Ebola are definitely coming out of here. It's not starting in the mainstream media who helps spread the lies. The mainstream media is a product of the Pentagon. The mainstream media is part of the military psyop that the Pentagon, media, police, government, it's all part of. So that's what I want to show you. This coding is real. Hope you learned something new.